if I draw a line, this is a trend right now, and it did break that trend. It did break above the trend, and then it was a key level as well. So then I was holding, and you can actually play a break and retest long right there. Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time, and if you guys are interested, you guys can join along with me. We are in March now, and we can see here that I only did take one trade. It is Thursday right now. We do have another day, Friday. Did not take any trades today. I was literally about to take a trade a few minutes ago. Even though it's past my time of trading, I saw a setup, and I see a lot of setups after my time, and I didn't take it. I usually don't take setups if it's after 11 because I have work, but depending on my day, sometimes I'm available, and I do see a lot of trades after 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, but I don't take it because I know that it will not be consistent and I shouldn't take it. But it happens a lot, so if I see a setup and it's a good setup, then I should take it. Although I had an idea of taking a setup, it just wasn't there, and I'll show you guys after. But first, I do want to break down this week. I'm gonna take off the privacy filter right now and then change it to dollar amount, and we see right here that we are up 27.90. My trade win percentage is of course 100% because I only did take one trade. Average win to loss ratio is nothing because I did not lose any trade yet. So yeah, I'm gonna go to my notebook and then check my day, my session recap. I'm gonna go to March 3rd because that's Monday, I believe, and I am gonna check the 30-minute time frame right here. Looking into the 30-minute, we can see that there's a zone here for the QQQ. It's 498 to 500 basically, and that is the previous day's lows. And we can see over here on the SPY, it's the 582. The Nasdaq is 20,515 right here, and the ES is the 5850 and the 200 SMA right here. Coming into Monday, we can see that we had a gap up. We see that the market kind of broke up. It broke back above, and we can look for longs since we broke back above levels. But the intraday levels, we can see that it's like kind of chopping up and down on the levels. They don't want to take any trades there. You can see that we're in the box right here. We're in this box right here, and we haven't broken that box. So I don't really want to take any longs until we actually break above these levels up here. We break above, or we break above these heavy supply rejections, and then I'll think about longing. Here's a 2-minute time frame, and we can see that just by looking at the day, we say that the market is just chopping off these levels. Obviously, this is in hindsight. For me personally, I want to see levels break. I want to see actual key levels break levels and then retest, and then I can continue on with the long or a short. But if it's already in the zone right here, if it's already inside the middle of the zone, I don't want to take anything there. I could take this retest long right here if it bounces off this level, and then I can take it back to the next supply zone, but I don't like doing that. And then when it breaks a level like this, it broke the level, I don't decide to short it because we can see that there's still demand zones on the ES, and the Nasdaq has more demand zones, and it's a pretty close range, so there's no point of me actually trying to take the trade. Maybe I shouldn't chart these levels because they're not really clear and it could just be noise, but I do have these levels and I can always learn over time and if I like these levels or not. Now going to Tuesday, I did win a trade. That's my only trade that I won this week. It was a decent trade. It was a 32% ROI. My net profit was $27. It was a short position. I shorted the QQQ. Here is a 30-minute chart. We can see that the previous day's lows was right here, was the 492 to 493.50, and the SPY is a 580 to 578. The Nasdaq is right here for the previous day, and the ES is right here. And my strategy is the break and retest. Intraday, I look for a break of a level, so it did break this level, and then I wait for a retest. I wait for the retest of this level, and then I short it all the way down to the next demand zone. It doesn't mean I always hold all the way to the next demand zones because other markets can have a demand zone that I would want to sell, and I want to protect myself. And you can see that it did not go all the way down. Also, we see that the QQQ was 493.50. That was the previous day's lows, but I did put it at 492 because that's the 200 SMA, and that's the pre-market low that I want to see break. So that's why I put it as a zone. So there's no point in me longing it until I see a full break of this level, and then I can think about longing it. But now I'm gonna go to the 2-minute time frame and show you guys why I took this trade. We can see that early morning, it kept holding the 492 zone. It kept holding the zone, and it kept holding the 200 SMA for probably 30 minutes. But at the same time, I was thinking of shorting it because we can see here on the SPY, it kept rejecting this level with the 580 zone, and I can take the retest short. And I was gonna try to hold it until the 575, which it did get to, but I did not want to short because we were still above this QQQ zone, and that could hold the market up. We see that the Nasdaq is holding level, and we see that the ES is holding the level. But when the SPY started breaking this 578 zone, we can see that it starts giving a retest here, and that's also when the ES was starting to reject this level. For some reason though, the QQQ was holding strong and it wasn't breaking above. It was still holding this 200 SMA right here. The Nasdaq was still kind of holding the zone here. I didn't think it was going to be strong because the other markets were weak, and I was thinking of taking it, but I did not want to break my rule. I wanted to play it safe because QQQ was holding the zone right here, and then once it finally did break the zone, I took my short position right here. The retest was probably this green arrow right here, or this green candle right here, that's when I probably should have taken it. I took my play off this zone right here, even though it didn't hit this demand zone properly. It's because the ES was holding this demand zone right here. It wasn't really holding it yet. It's because it's too early, but it is a potential demand zone, and it was a big demand zone, and that's why I was trying to protect myself. And guess what? The market did go all the way back up. It went all the way back up to the next zone, and if I didn't take my profits there, I would have lost the trade, or I'll just give back more profits. And that's the reason why I sold. We can see clear as day. Once it broke down this 492, we can start seeing retest, and that's when you take your short position. If you're trying to take the SPY, we can see that it broke down this zone here, it broke down this zone, it started giving retest, and you take your play right there. If you're looking at the ES, we can see here it breaks this low, and then it starts retesting the zone right here, retest, and you take it to the next zone right here. That's the break and retest for you. And now I'll show you guys the live trade. Going to Wednesday now, this is my journal for Wednesday. I did change it up a little bit, but we're gonna go down to the market structure. I'm gonna go down to the 4 hour. I'm gonna try to do things a little bit different, show you guys the bigger picture. Here's the 4 hour chart. We can see that I have this 576 zone right here. This 576 is because it was holding right here, it was holding right here, and then it rejected here. Later on December, it was generally holding around this 576. Later on, it held exactly at the 596, and then again it held in the 596, and that's where I have my zone. It could possibly be 575, but I'm gonna break it down on the 30-minute chart. So I'm gonna go to the 30-minute chart right here, and previously I did have it at the 575, but we can see here that on the previous day it was rejecting this area right here, which is 576, and we can see later day it held the 576 beautifully, and that's why I had it at 576. The previous day was right here. This is the previous day. Previous day was in this box right here. If it does break some levels, then I will decide to short or long the market, but we see that it did open up around this zone right here. So if it did break the 576, I can take a retest and then short it. And I could do longs as well, but I'm not really trying to do longs right now. The market is in a downtrend right here, so I don't really want to take a long. It did reclaim the 580 level, and I could take a long over there, but it was later day. Now I'm gonna go to the 2-minute time frame and show you guys what happened on the SPY. The only play I was looking for was a 576 break. We see that it did break down below, but like I say, I always wait for the retest. It did break down a little bit, and then it got back up. That right there is not proper confirmation. I want to see a big break, slowly retest the level, slowly retest, and then once I started seeing rejections, and then I can take it down to the next demand. But we can see here it's only 2 candles, 3 candles, and it doesn't do anything. That's why the people who short lose over there. And you can see again it goes down, but it's not really proper breaks, it's not really strong breaks, and then the market just goes back up. We can see over here later on it did break the market down more, but it didn't really give you a retest because it just went straight down. And then once it finally claimed the level, you could wait for the retest right here, retest, and you can long into the next supply zone. It did do a break, a retest of the level, and then a long, but that was later day and I didn't take it. And even though I said the market is weak, if I draw a line, this is a trend right now, and it did break that trend. It did break above the trend, and then it was a key level as well. So then I was holding, and you can actually play a break and retest long right there, but it was later day, so I did not take it. And then also, if I go to the 2-minute time frame for all the charts, it did start breaking the 576 level. It didn't make sense to short the market is because it was still holding the demand zones on each of the market, and there's no really point of shorting the market. So that's why I did not take any trades that day. Now going on to Thursday, did not take any trades, but we see here that we're pretty much in the same channel as yesterday. If you remember, this was the previous day right here. This was a channel, this was a channel right here, These are the channels of the Nasdaq. This is the SPY zone right here, and we see that we did open at the same area right here, so it wasn't really any trades. There was no point of taking any longs, there's no point of taking any shorts, but I believe that if we did break zones like such as the 492, then I could take it to the next demand zone, the 488.50, and it actually did do that. And now I'm gonna go to the 2-minute time frame right here. We see that it didn't really do anything. We were still holding this zone right here, and it was a long. We could have longed it right here into this zone right here, but like I say, I don't really like taking trades of retests unless it does a break and retest. I didn't see any proper breaks, so I did not take anything. It did do a nice break over here, and we don't take the market right there. We don't take a market until it gives you a retest like that. I zoom in closer, it's still a retest, is because it breaks down this big zone right here. It breaks down a good amount, and then it starts sliding up slowly, and you can take your retest over there. Even though it doesn't give you to the 488 yet, and then it might get close to this zone right here, you still don't get out. It's because your stop loss is above this area right here, which is the 492. If you stayed in the trade, you would have got into your target at 488.50. But at this time, we can see that the market is around 12 o'clock area, which I was not home at the time. Zooming a little closer now, here's what I saw when I came home. I saw that the market was still holding this zone right here. It was still holding this zone. So I didn't want to take any trades. If it did break, I was thinking of taking the trade. It did break a good amount right here. And then I don't take it yet. I wait for the retest. It started coming up pretty strong. It went up aggressively, and I didn't take the short anymore. And then I was like, maybe this play was dead. It's because the ES held the 5720 zone right here, and I did take off my charts. I realized it was the all-time highs, the previous all-time highs on ES, so that it could hold. I was thinking that I can short the market. It's because the SPY was still rejecting this level right here, but I knew that the market could still slide up into the next zone right here on the ES. And we can think about taking it long because we are started holding above this level, and some people might long it. Maybe I would have long it in the past. We're still below zones right here, and you shouldn't even long it. And I was thinking maybe I can just short it right here, but I don't really like playing off like that because it can actually hold the levels here. It can actually hold the levels, and maybe there can be an upside. And my entry probably should have been right here. Once the market did break down again, it broke back down, and then I don't take it yet. I wait for the retest. I wait for this retest, and I take it down to the next zone, maybe to this 568.50, maybe into this 484 zone right here. And the Nasdaq was weak, so maybe I can just take it to this zone right here. But I'm not really sure about this zone right here on the ES, on the 570.20 level. It could break down, or it could keep holding the market up. And that is my trading for this week. We'll see if I do take any trades on Friday, but so far we are up $27. And what I like to say is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day. And I'll see you in the next one.